Good afternoon to you all, guys. It's your boy Faithful bringing it to you. Don't forget, I'm still on the topic who is responsible. Don't forget, I am in Accra, Ghana, the capital city. And it is in this city that nearly 63 years ago, Ghana flag went out by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, and our country was declared independence. But how is the independence in Ghana and indeed the rest of Africa? This is why I always ask my guys that who is responsible. I'm taking you to the street today. You'll see some videos within this discussion today, street view of how the poor and the needed Ghanaians or the whole entire Africans survive. You watch this video, continue to connect with me. It's your guy Faithful bringing you. Don't forget, if today is your first time of connecting to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Continue watching the video and watch the live streaming video that I took on the street, captured, whereby some of the citizens, those whose parents passed away when they were young, as a result they were not able to go to school. Based on that, some of them are homeless and others are jobless. Be with me, guys. Also, through my research, I discovered this piece of paper on the internet that I want to share with you. And I know this is the reason why things have fallen apart, causing great enmity for those who are not educated, are homeless and jobless. This paper was addressed by Lord Maclean on 2nd February 1835 to British Parliament. Quoted, let me read. I have traveled across the length and breadth of Africa, and I have not seen one person who is a beggar, who is a thief, such wealth I have seen in this country, such high moral value, people of such caliber, that I do not think we could ever conquer this country unless we break the backbone of this nation, which is her spiritual and cultural heritage, and therefore I propose that we replace her old and ancient education system, her culture, for if the Africans think that all that is foreign and English is good and greater than their own, they will lose their self-esteem, their native culture, and they will become what we want them, a truly dominated nation. This is what I discovered. This is all part of the reason why some of our brothers and sisters who are not able to go to schools are homeless and jobless. Because in our country, even if you want to become a policeman, they'll ask for your certificate. Do you speak English? Can you speak English? What is your certificate? If you cannot speak English and you don't have any certificate, you cannot even work as a military man or in the security service in our country, in Africa. It's happening in so many African countries. I think this is the main reason. Guys, have you got a reason why I always tell you that we have to change the story or turn the story upside down? This is nonsense and rubbish. English cannot be used to value an integrity or the morale. Oh, I'm bringing so many powerful English. Guys, join with me, connect with me. English cannot testify the intelligence of someone. This is what I mean. It is nonsense. Anyway, this is why, guys, I want all of you to come together so we can learn something better in order to do something powerful in future. Because there are so many reasons why our generation have to change the story of Africa. If you are out there, if you are in China, I know you guys are passing through so many problems. If you are in Europe, if you think you have to come and study somewhere, come back to your country. Africa is the best place to be. We can change the story. All what is happening is as a result. Our colonial rulers imparted different into our leaders. This is why our people, some of them are jobless, others are selling on the street before they will survive. Some are homeless. The government have all the rights, all the responsibility to build an apartment, rooms, and infrastructures and provide job for the poor. But they are not doing that. All their focus is go to school. When you graduate, I'll give you a job. So what is happening to our country? It's like our nation is sick in mind. This is why you have to learn. We have to study and know why this is this, why this is that, why this. We have to know the reason why things has fallen apart. Because the topic on board is who is responsible. And through my research, I discovered that piece of paper that I just read. Here is the video that I captured. Guys, it's very sad. It's very, very sad. Once some of them were discussing with me over there that once he was launched, very expensive that a citizen cannot afford it. Assalamu alaikum. كيف حالك؟ زين تمام الحمد لله. شو اسمك؟ هاني. أنا إبراهيم. Commonly known as Faithful. Okay. So, if you can just imagine the type of structures which they are building here. This is why, as a resource, when the people mobilize from the villages, they find themselves in. And it is very, very shame, because there is no room, there is no building. This is why it happened like that. But if there is a case whereby there is structures that is owned by the government, I don't think like something like this is going to happen. You see, some of them to try to do small scale farming around, and they never have any place to stay. All this small scale farming is found inside the city, which I can say is a garden. It's a garden. It's what they do, and it's found inside the city. It's very, very shame if you can see Africans being developed like this, and our leaders are silent, comfortable too, of not doing anything, of helping the citizens. Sometimes it's very poor, whereby you see the foreigners enjoying in the country and the citizens are perishing. It's very, very, very sad. And guys, it's not easy. It's not easy. Or if you can see all these pictures that I'm showing to you, I was in Asia. I know there is similar thing also in Asia. I was in Asia. There is similar thing in Asia also. I know that. But we are not here we need to compare our stories to others. You get what I'm saying? We are not here just to compare our stories to anyone. So African, we have to know how to solve our own stories in order than comparing our story to others. That when even an Asia is facing the same problem, so we are comfortable of facing the same problem. No. All this happen as a result. The government doesn't own any infrastructures. The government doesn't own any rooms, or he doesn't own any buildings. So if someone travel from one place to another in Ghana over here, that is how it happens. If someone travel from one city to another, this is how it normally happens or results. Why? Because you won't have any place to rent. You understand? It's like you won't have any place to rent. There is no place for you to rent for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and the short period of days that you spend. So anytime you travel from one city here in Ghana, what I'm saying is the whole entire Africa. It's not only Ghana. Anytime that you travel from one city to another, you cannot find a room or accommodation to rent for per month. So as a result, you have to find anywhere just to accommodate yourself. And after the 1 month or the 2 months or the 3 months, then you can leave. You get it? So this is the problem the citizens of Africa face as a result of incompetent and irresponsible leaders. When you go to Singapore, Dubai, United States, Spain, Europe, and other countries, the government always try to buy land for himself, give the real estate order to build, so the government will have some buildings for rent. But in Africa, things fall apart. Besides where some of them are staying, others are also doing some business, small scale business like this shop and other business that you are seeing. This is very, very shame, because there is proper measures that can put in place whereby the government can involve himself and build a very good structure and use it for rent. The people are going to pay. They are ready to pay. They are living like this, but they have money. But things has fallen apart. Don't forget, it's your boy Faithful bringing it to you. If today is your first time of connecting to our channel, don't forget to subscribe and click on the notification bell for all my videos. Nice to speak to you. Bye bye. Hello guys, welcome to Faithful Online TV. It's my pleasure to upload a single video at one day at a time. For your information, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, don't forget to click on the subscription, press on the bell, like the video, share to your friends and relatives. Thanks for joining Faithful Family. You are welcome. Somebody may ask that, so is that not any building in Ghana, in Africa? There is a building like this. As you can see, there is nice infrastructures building like this one that even is written over here for sales and for rent and for whatever and forever. But this type of building, which is for sale and for rent, you can go there and ask. By the end of the month, they are taking like $500 per month. This $500 is 2,000 plus. It's 2,000 plus Ghana cedis, which the citizens, even the able bodies who are into government business and also government positions, they cannot even afford to pay this 2,000. How much more street guys who are on the streets, guys who doesn't have any qualification to pay or afford for these buildings? This is the major problem the people face. You understand? Let me cross check something over here. So that is it. There is nice infrastructures as I'm showing to you. There is nice infrastructures over here. I might say of course, there is a very nice and beautiful architecture infrastructures in Ghana. There is a very nice, decent and beautiful architecture infrastructures buildings in Ghana. But the problem is very, very, very expensive, which the government officials, some of them cannot even afford. How much more street guys? This is why our generation, we are responsible to turn the story upside down. If a government owns an infrastructures and buildings, how would the story be? Have you ever think about this? Have you ever thought of it? That if the government owns infrastructures and buildings, how will the story be? Have you ever sat down and thought of it? All this happen as a result. The government doesn't own even single building. Like for example, this room, you can see from the board the contact number. When I go down, I'll call and ask this man that I'm looking for room to rent. How much is it going to give it to me by the end of the month? And you see the price. You can also see this building. That is very nice and beautiful infrastructures here in Ghana, in Africa, of course. But the problem is the citizens cannot even afford. So as a result, all the infrastructures you are seeing, majority of them is being occupied by the foreigners. That is the sad story of Africa. There are so many foreign companies here also in Africa, Ghana, but since there is no good measures by the government, so when they come, they only buy the land. And you know, it's even a risk. It's a very risk. It's a very risk as a country to sell a land to foreign company or even foreigners. How small Ghana is. You understand? As how small our continent is, how small Ghana, our country is. It's a very risk to sell the land, to foreigners. No, you can use the land to rent the foreigners. It makes sense. It makes sense to use the land to rent them, but selling it is a risk. So that is it. It's very sad, man.